Hi, I'm Bridget with PotomacBeads.com. Join me today in creating some fun summer anklets. If you need any of the materials, they were listed at the beginning of the video, as well as below in the description area, you'll find a full list of materials as well as links to both PotomacBeads.com and PotomacBeads.eu. So gather up your materials and come create with me. So to start this first anklet here, I have a total amount of 8.5 inches of chain. So by the end, after I add on my clasp and my jump rings, it'll come to about 9 inches. So you want to make sure you measure the exact length that you need it before you cut your chain. And from there, I also have my 4mm jump rings and 3 different color of my Miyuki drops. You can definitely use less or more, depending on what you want your anklet to look like. And from there, I will just go ahead and start adding on my cluster of drops here. So when working with jump rings, you do want to make sure that you have 2 pliers, and you're going to pinch both sides here, just like that. And you're going to go in opposite directions to either side to open. And that way you ensure to keep that round shape of your jump ring. And from there, I'm going to take my first drop and just go ahead and put that through my jump ring, just like that. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my chain. And if you can see, each cluster is going to be on the same link, and then I'm skipping over one link and going to the next one. Just go ahead and link that on, and then you're going to close your jump ring the exact same way, just pinching both sides and bringing those into the middle. So here you can see I have each 3 of my drops on one link, and then I'm skipping over the next link and I'm adding on to this one here. So you can see it gives it a nice little dangle without being too overcrowded. So again, just to show you one more time, you're going to pick up your jump ring and using 2 pliers, pinch those on either side and go ahead, oh, I had it upside down. So you'll have your jump ring here and pinch it on either side and going in opposite directions to open that up. And then grab your second color of your drop and feed that onto your jump ring there. And picking up your chain again, you just go ahead and attach your jump ring and close it off. So from there, we'll just keep doing this until you have the length of your chain all finished with those drops attached. So once we have all of our drops kind of put on our chain in each little cluster, on the very end, you're going to add your clasp with one more jump ring just on that clasp, and you'll put it at the very end of your chain with that last kind of empty link there. We'll go ahead and close our jump ring. And you'll want to put a jump ring on the other end as well. And there we have it. We have a nice, simple, easy summer anklet here. And what's nice about this design is if you want a matching bracelet or a matching necklace, you can do the exact same way, just with a longer or shorter chain. So for our next anklet here, I've already thread through my first 4mm round, and I'm using 2 different colors or 2 different types of 4mm round gemstones, and I've gone up and through my first wire guard, and I'm going to go down through that first bead that I just put on and just tighten that up so that the wire guards fit nicely over top that first bead. And I'm just going to pinch that a little bit And I'll go ahead and tie a knot here, just your regular right over left, left over right. And I'll trim down that extra thread, making sure not to trim your working thread. So I'll just go ahead and burn that down. And then I'm going to go ahead and string on the rest of my beads. And whether you want to do a pattern or not is up to you. And I'm going to string this until I reach 18 inches. So just stringing up until the length that you want. So I have my 18 inches of my anklet strung here, and on both ends I have my wire guards. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my clasp and just a small 4mm jump ring and go ahead and connect that to one of the ends. And on my second end, I'm going to put a little charm. So I have my SS24 chatons, and then I also have my chaton settings. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Loctite glue just to kind of glue that chaton right in there so that we have a little bit of shine at the edge of our anklet. So just a little dab is all you need. And if you don't have Loctite, you can use super glue glue or any super glue that you have handy. And just go ahead and place that chaton right in the setting there. There we go. And then using your jump ring, you'll go ahead and grab the other end of your anklet and then just go ahead and attach that and close that off. So the reason I did 18 inches is, for me, typically an anklet fits well that is 9 inches. So I wanted to make this so that I can double it around my ankle. So I have that nice fun anklet, or I can use it as a necklace as well. So it's a fun little piece that you can use either way, either as an anklet or as your necklace. So for our last anklet, I'm going to start off the same way that I started our last one. So I've already strung on my first bead and went through my first wire guard, and using my needle I'm going to go back down through that first bead so that we're coming out on the same side, and I'm just going to pinch together my wire guard a little bit there and go ahead and tie a knot after that first bead. And then I can go ahead and get rid of that excess thread. Again, making sure not to burn down your working thread. So there we go. And I'm going to thread, I'm using my 2 by 1.5mm crystals. And I'm going to just thread all of my crystals until I reach 9 inches. So I'm just using all the same color, but if you want to use different colors and make a pattern, that would be really fun as well. So just threading this until you get to your desired length. Okay, so I have all of my crystals strung on, and I'm going to add on my wire guard here at the end, and just going down through that last bead and then tying it off. Now I want to make sure that I kind of pull tight here so that there's not a big gap. between the wire guard and our crystals. So just tying a knot right after that last crystal there at the end. And then burning down that extra thread. So for this anklet, I have my crystals here, and I also have just a plain piece of chain. This is the same kind of chain that we used in the first anklet. So I'm going to connect these just with some jump rings. So again, using your pliers and moving the jump ring from opposite sides and just going through that last link on your chain and then that wire guard from the crystals. Okay, and then here, if the chain is a little bit longer, you can go ahead and kind of take off if there's, like for me, I have about 2 links too long. So I'll just go ahead and clip those last 2 links off. And then we'll have the crystals and the chain the same length. And I'll go ahead and add one last jump ring to the end of my anklet. And if you want to add any charms, or we can do like what we did for the last one, we can add that bezel charm or anything to kind of bling that up or make that a little fun. But I think I'm just going to leave it just with the chain and my crystals, and just go ahead and add on our clasp there. So I'll do one more jump ring on the end. So I'll connect that to the little jump ring that we just added. And go ahead and close that. And then another jump ring for my clasp. So I'll go into my clasp and then into the jump ring that I used to combine my chain. We'll go ahead and close that up. And there we go. We have our nice, fun, and simple anklet. So here we have all 3 finished products. We have our cluster anklet, our wrap anklet that can double as a necklace, and then our crystal and chain. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed creating your own summer anklets. Remember, if you do need any of the materials, they were listed at the beginning of the video, as well as below in the description area. You'll find a full list of exact materials that I used today, as well as links to both PotomacBeads.com and PotomacBeads.eu. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to keep up to date with any notifications on new videos or new content we have out there for you. And as always, I love to hear from you, so if this design inspired your own, I'd love to see how you changed it up with different colors or different components. So until next time.